breakdown of the trailer, bro. I'm actually excited for this movie.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Voss, and Spider-Man No Way Home's new trailer opened up the floodgates of the multiverse, ending a dry spell of Spider-Man content with a sudden deluge of TV spots and promo clips with even more footage and dialogue and weirdly unfinished VFX for us to go through frame by frame.
I can't stop him.
From knowing the scene is actually set at nighttime and this new background ain't fooling anyone, I'm gonna break down all this new footage and all the details that you might have missed. Let's start with the new footage of Electro.
Some visitors from every universe.
You're not gonna take this away from me.
Whoa, so first things first, for whatever reason, these promos lower the pitch on Jamie Foxx's voice.
You're not gonna take this away from me. You're not gonna take this away from me.
It puts the lotion in the basket. And now we know what exactly Electro doesn't want Peter Parker to take away from him, confirming what I originally spotted in my trailer breakdown last week, that Electro is using an Iron Man chest arc reactor. Specifically, this is the older generation new element arc reactor Mark 1 or Mark 2 with the triangular inlay that Tony Stark constructed using the new element he rediscovered in Iron Man 2. This is a version of the reactor that he went on to use in Iron Man 3 before surgically removing all the shrapnel and chucking this model into the ocean, probably irradiating countless sea creatures. Now the next model of the arc reactor after that was attached to Tony's suits rather than his flesh and was thinner. Only needed to go as deep as the chest plate, not like a double stacked hockey puck that needed to go inside of his chest. And to be clear, the reactor that Electro is using is not the proof Tony Stark has a heart one that was attached to Tony's funeral wreath in Endgame. That was the earlier model from the first Iron Man, so it looks like no one's grave robbing, or at least that we know about, but someone might have gone scuba diving off the coast of Malibu. Or black market traders could have been scavenging spare Iron Man tech from the Avengers compound, as seems to be the case in Hawkeye. Now, compared to his appearance in the 2014 film, Electro also now uses as conduits armored plates strapped onto him in a harness. Those look a lot like the apparatus Ivan Vanko Whiplash used in Iron Man 2 to channel electrical energy, which is also powered by arc reactors that Vanko built from his father Anton's blueprints. So two pieces of tech that both appeared in the same movie, both of which might have been kept in storage on the Avengers compound. So however Max Dillon got his hands on this arc reactor, this plus Stark's nanotech and the Vanko gear could have all come from the same source, and if that source is revealed in Hawkeye, folks, all eyes on Wilson Fisk Kingpin. Calling it now, never been wrong before, right? But let's move on to the new footage of Peter and Doctor Strange. First, there's footage of them in Strange's confinement location.
Multiverse is real. I'll fix this, but I'm gonna need some help.
Let's catch some multiverse men.
Yeah, Peter's calling back his line from Far From Home.
I'm sorry, you're saying there's a multiverse? Because I thought that was just theoretical.
So now being told that there is actually a multiverse, Peter might feel a bit more vindicated after being fooled by Mysterio's lie, or wonder if he's still trapped in the illusion. Also notice here that Peter's necktie is severed, so that might have been cut off when Doc Ock attacked his chest as those nanobots were rushing in to cover the hole. Then Peter and Strange on the train.
There has to be another way.
There isn't.
Whoa, so before Strange's train seemed to charge through the Grand Canyon or a location like that, and then split into this cool rotating cyclone of like a half dozen train cars. But now rising up through the rocky terrain are the skyscrapers of Manhattan, with a second canyon slash cityscape mirrored from above. So it's almost like Peter could be using the bendiness of the universe right now and portals and whatnot to try to escape to a remote location away from Doctor Strange, but then Strange is dragging him back into the city, folding reality like a book on a spider. What a way to ruin a book. And a spider. But then an extended version of Strange tricking Peter into webbing his own foot.
This is why I never had kids.
That might be one of the coolest things that's ever happened to me, but don't ever do that again.
Doctor Strange talking about never having kids. You know who else never actually had kids? That baby crazy witch I suspect is controlling this wizard. Never been wrong before, right? Now, if you're watching this video, obviously you spend quite a bit of your time on the internet, and I'm sure that applies to everything like shopping. Think about it, online shopping is basically the only shopping that happens. Is the #1 shopping tool in America and automatically test them at checkout. Get Honey when you're checking out on your favorite coupons. You wait a few seconds as Honey searches for coupons for that site. With Honey. Now, as you shop, Honey will drop back on that site. Click Activate Cashback and you will get some extra money for that pepperoni. I'm sorry. 17 million people are saving money with Honey. Take it from video. Now, much of the new footage shows Doc Ock's battle with Peter on this bridge.
I underestimated you,
Peter.
Do I know you?
Looks like we got competition. You think your fancy new suit's gonna save you? You're not Peter Parker.
I am so confused right now.
So we see how Doc Ock mistakes Tom Holland Peter Parker initially for his Tobey Maguire Peter Parker just by assuming his Peter got a fancy new suit. Now, Doc Ock tells his claws that they're in competition with Peter's mechanical Iron Spider arms, but notice how his claws have the red light illuminated, which in the 2004 Spider-Man 2 film, that was that movie's way of showing whether the claws were in control of the neural link in Doc Ock's spinal cord, or if he was controlling them. So white light meant that Otto was in charge, red light meant that the arms were in charge, so this means that the arms are currently in control in this moment. Also, the license plate that I pointed out in the breakdown, which was ASM 8183, which I speculated could be a nod either to a comics issue where Kingpin appears, or one where Aunt May is hospitalized and Peter almost gets mowed over by the big wheel. That plate has now been replaced with this one, RNK810V, which means nothing! They covered it up! Now, for Far From Home, John Watts did include a Hydro Man reference in the trailer for that movie that was then removed in the theatrical cut, but they didn't remove that from subsequent trailers for that movie, which makes me now think that we might be onto something with that old license plate. But let's move on to a new clip of Happy Hogan calling Peter.
This is Peter, leave a message.
Yeah, Peter, this is Happy. Who are those guys, huh? What are the guys made of mud? What's going on? Call me back.
I love it that finally, after Peter leaving Happy dozens of unanswered texts and voicemails, it's now Happy having to leave Peter a desperate voicemail. And this gives us a bit more relief that Happy might make it away from that Feast headquarters battle safely, as well as Aunt May, because now Happy seems to be unpacking, seeing Sandman and probably Electro and Goblin, thinking Sandman was made of mud, but does not appear to be in any particular anguish, like over a loved one or himself charred in wildfire. There are a few new shots of Sandman.
In their universe, they all die fighting Spider-Man.
We see him swirling around the Statue of Liberty here and then reaching out to grab Spider-Man, but also a new shot of the Lizard.
Was that a dinosaur?
Yeah, and you'll notice the Lizard has 4 fingers, meaning this film is following that moment in the 2012 Amazing Spider-Man when Captain Stacy shot his hand that had 5 lizard fingers on it, and then it regenerated with 4 digits. And then lastly, a few alternate takes of MJ and Peter.
Just run it by us next time you break the universe. Deal. When you're thinking I'm about to do something that could break the universe.
Oh, I know you!
Run it by us.
And then this moment.
Ever since I got bit by that spider, I've only had 1 week where my life has felt normal. That was when you found out.
This gives us our best look yet at the New York Post that MJ is reading, and the headline reads, Peter Parker and his spider minions, and at the bottom, his hypnotic spider senses seduced Jones, and then something else. Well, MJ's name is Michelle Jones, so both she and Peter are embroiled in this page 6 goss. But also, if that's the context of this story, Ned might also be rumored to be part of this love triangle. I mean, it's something you know Aunt May was at least curious about when she walked in on them in Homecoming. I just think it's pretty gross for a newspaper to be talking about the seduction tactics of 17-year-olds. Like, I feel kind of gross talking about it. Folks, it's just sometimes when you zoom in and enhance on this stuff in the pursuit of nerd movie trivia, you don't like what you find. Hey, you can support New Rockstars by checking out our merch options at newrockstarsmerch.com. Follow me.
Nope, that's it.